according to lesson 24, the beginning of a river is the what? See if you can kind of fill in the letters in your mind. Way to go, Joaquin. Abel. Very nice. Anybody else? What is the beginning of a river called? Yep, Eleanor. Yep, it's called Adelaide. Good job. Headwaters. Headwaters. See? Headwaters. So on the note guide, what is the beginning of a river called? Headwaters. Do you know what else it could be called? Also, the source. Sometimes you'll read a book that calls it the source of the river. But our book uses headwaters. Okay, and what is the end of a river where it empties into a larger body of water? Nice. Look at Joaquin, Adelaide, Eleanor, Abel. Nice. Abel just gave me the missing letters, but yes, I know what you mean. Good job. The mouth of the river. The mouth of the river. Okay, so, right, headwaters and mouth. Headwaters and mouth. And this. Wait, have I already done that? I can't remember. Is this the first time you've seen this today or the second time? First time, okay. I shouldn't say this. I think I used the same word this morning. Sometimes I do use the same word for different classes, and sometimes I change it up. So maybe I'm thinking about this morning. Anyway, there it is. Make sure that you write it down somewhere. Okay. So, and I love the title, The Easy Way. So the textbook makes the point that water always seeks the path of least resistance. It's always looking for the easy way. So it's always flowing. It'll find the how to get downhill. It's lazy. It's looking for that easy way out. But anyway, that's how it works, right? It's looking for that easy way, flowing towards the lowest point. So, if that's true, the headwaters of rivers, would you guess, would be at higher elevations in general or lower elevations? Jameson, nice job. Yeah, the headwaters of rivers are generally higher elevation. Yep. Eleanor, Joaquin, yep. And then the mouth, where it empties into a larger body of water, tends to be lower, right? Because it starts at the headwaters and then it will flow downhill to the mouth. Yeah. I think did I put source on here? No. Okay. So I found this map, major rivers of the contiguous or touching the part of the U.S. that touches. In what state are the headwaters of the Snake River? Some of you might live kind of near this. See where it says Snake? So the headwaters are going to be right there. What state is that? Does anybody know? Nice. Joaquin got it. Abel, Eleanor. This one is Idaho. And I put the abbreviation, ID, Idaho. That is the postal abbreviation. Right there. Very close to Wyoming. Yep. Okay. In what state are the headwaters of the Arkansas River? See where it says Arkansas? Abel, Joaquin, Eleanor, Jameson. Nice. That is the state of Colorado. I know it's sometimes hard to see the borders. It's like, what are all these lines doing? But yes, that is the state of Colorado. And it flows through Colorado, Kansas, a little bit of Oklahoma, and then it looks, does that say Canadian River? Huh. And that flows into the Red River. No, this is the Red River, because I know that forms the border. Oh, I know, the Canadian flows into the Arkansas, and then the Arkansas flows into the Mississippi. Okay, one more. In what state are the headwaters of the Mississippi River? So remember, that's the beginning of the river. So here you can see Mississippi, but this is the mouth of the river, right? So let's follow it. Boop. I can't tell who's answered. I think Abel, Joaquin. Nice. This one is Minnesota. Yeah. We have a lot of states that begin with the letter M. So the abbreviation for Minnesota is MN. All right, excellent. Now, let's look at the mouths of some of these rivers, okay? And then it's almost break time. Into what body of water does the Columbia River empty? So there's the Columbia. Forms part of the border between Oregon and Washington, and it flows into the... Yeah, we're looking for the body. Oh, and I had to type these in because they weren't on the map, so I added this. The Pacific, the Gulf of Mexico, or the Atlantic. And so the answer for the first one is the Pacific. So this is the Pacific Ocean, right? So the Columbia empties into the Pacific. Okay, what about the Connecticut? Oh, this one's tough. Okay, the headwaters is up here, and then it flows southward, and the mouth of the Connecticut is right there. What body of water is that? Yep, Amaray, Abel. Anybody else want to? Look, it's the state of Connecticut right there, and it flows into the Atlantic. Okay, into what body of water does the Mississippi River empty? Okay, Abel. Yeah, that's a choice there. Yeah. Joaquin, Adelaide, Eleanor. Yes, it flows into the Gulf of Mexico, which is technically part of the Atlantic Ocean. Yep. So when you look at a map, think about, like if you look at, okay, if you just look at a river, let me just pick a river, the Chattahoochee. My other son lives near the Chattahoochee. So if you just look at the Chattahoochee, for example, and you're like, well, where does the river start? Where are the headwaters, and where is the mouth of the river? The mouth is always where it empties into a larger body of water. So rivers never flow like from the ocean inland, right? They always flow inland from a higher elevation and empty into a larger body of water. All right. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's do one more topic, okay, and then we'll go to break. So thinking about these rivers, what is a continental divide? Okay, so if you want to simplify that definition, to write it down, you could maybe just write down the first part. The point at which rivers flow in opposite directions. Well, I don't know. The last part's kind of important too. The point, you may have to write it all. I'm sorry, but it's good exercise for your hands. The continental divide, that's a hint. The point at which rivers flow in opposite directions and empty into different bodies of water. Okay, I'll come back to the slide, but here's something kind of cool I was noticing. I'm gonna see if I can, I don't know if I can do this, but, okay. Notice, if I can make it a little fatter. I'm not very good at this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so notice that these rivers are flowing this direction, right? The Platte is flowing this way. The Arkansas is flowing this way, right? But the Snake is flowing this way. The Columbia, right? The Colorado River. Well, Colorado River. Right? Because that's where a continental divide is. Do you see that? How you can look at a map and see, right? Because the rivers, the headwaters will be at a higher elevation, right? All of this area, these are the Rocky Mountains, right? So that's where the continental divide is located. See, the red is the Great Continental Divide. Whoa, starts way up here in Alaska, goes through Yukon Territory, British Columbia, and then right down through here. So all of the waters over here are going to empty into the Pacific.